hip flexion, right? So the person's gonna be seated upright, right? Now the leg is pretty neutral with this, and the movement is gonna be lift, like your leg off the table, lift your knee up to the ceiling, that type of thing. I have to stabilize, I'm gonna put my hand just over where the pelvis is, just so that she doesn't rock back, the pelvis doesn't move. I'm gonna place my hand right over here where the rectus femoris would come in to attach. Okay, lift that up, please. All right, there we go, and that would be a 3. Now I'm going to do a resistance, so I'm going to go ahead and apply resistance here. I'm going to still stabilize back here, and I'm pressing straight down. I'm not over here doing this movement. All right, I'm straight up above her. All right, so 3 plus 4 and 5, the leg has to be off the table. Then for 2, you're going to go onto your side. All right, so this one, the test side is up. All right, and with hip flexion, right? With hip flexion, the hip is in neutral, and the knee is going to be flexed. So stay right here so I can show them what I want them to do. See how she's in a V position like this, right? So I want her to shift a little bit this way, and we're going to have the hips in neutral. Now you can move the bottom leg so you can get more comfortable. The hips in neutral, but the knee is flexed, right? So this is the movement she's going to do. All right, so now I have to do, let me see how I did it this. I think I did it this way. Okay, so now I have this here like this. I'm in this position here. I'm going to go ahead and palpate right there, and I have my arm stabilizing her. Because what two things that are common is, one, you don't want this person rolling back this way, and the other thing is that when you go ahead, you start to bend this knee and you start doing this other movement. All right, so I just stabilize her pelvis with my forearm, palpate the muscle. All right, so you're going to go ahead and bring your knee up, and I just kind of roll around like this. All right, and I can feel the contraction there. Okay, so that would be a 2. For 1, there'd be contraction, no movement, 0, nothing. Okay, hyperextension, so you're going to be prone. So feet are going to be off the table, legs are straight. So with this one, we're going to have her do this movement, just like that, straight leg. All right, so I have to stabilize the pelvis. I'm just going to palpate the glute max. Go ahead, do that. And that would be a 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply resistance. So I'm stabilizing. Her leg's got to be off. Distal posterior thigh, straight down 3 plus 4 and 5. Then for 2, on the side again. You can say we can't see. Yeah, we're going to switch legs only because I'm not in front. But let me see. I think I've been. Have I been doing it in the front or behind? I forget. Sometimes I forget whatever's more comfortable because there's no single leg. Yeah, I think I did it this way. Yeah. And
I think that's from behind.
what are we doing? Oh, we're doing extension. Right. I'm thinking flexion again. Right, okay. Yeah. All right. So just scoot a little bit forward then for me. All right. So straighten the top leg, the bottom leg. Right. So all right. So you want to make sure that they're straight. That the one hip is on top of the other hip. That they're not doing that lean. Right. And they're not in that V position. So now I have to scoop the leg. So I have my forearm here. I can stabilize this whole leg. And I can have my hand back here to palpate and stabilize at the same time. Everybody see? All right? So okay, you're going to do this movement for me. Go ahead. All right, and then that would be the movement. Okay, we're good? Well, you can't see, but that's all right. All right? Okay, let's see. A, B, abduction. So we're going to sideline again. So with A, B, abduction, test leg is up, straight. They're in that straight line again. And they're going to be doing this movement. So, right, we don't want the leg to turn up because now you're switching what's doing the movement. All right, so the foot has to stay flat, so make sure you're looking at that. So I'm going to stabilize the pelvis. I can place my hand where the glute medius is going to be. Go ahead, lift the leg, right, and then that would be it. So now I'm going to keep stabilizing. You're going to be up, and I'm going to press down, 3 plus 4 and 5. 4, 2, she's going to be on her back. And I'll do it on that side because they don't maybe. So we're doing AB, right? So so she's gonna be in neutral, and well, they're not gonna be able to see me with my back there yet. All right, I'll do it over here because you won't be able to see me with my back there. All right, so what we're gonna do is this movement now. Okay, so now I want to make sure once again she doesn't turn that leg out, and that when I'm bringing it out, guys, I'm not here in flexion, doing it this way. Okay. So I have to scoop my leg under, hand under again, and we're going to go to the side. So I'm palpating the gluteus medius down around here, right over there, right, and bring your leg out and down. I'm just like that. So I'm staying low. I'm just scooping the leg, and she's going out and watching the foot. All right, that's that's 2 and 1. Then we have a deduction. So now she's on the side, but the test side is down with this one. Now there's 2 ways we can have it. She can have the foot in front, as long as we know that she's got enough movement of her thighs. If she's a big thigh mama, then we're not going to be able to do that. They're going to come in contact with each other. So often this is usually a better position to be, right? So that she has free clearance. But you have the 2 things. Make sure, because if this leg is up, there's a tendency of them to go back. They're going to be fearful of falling. So they can have their hand over to like here to hold on to the table, right? And just make sure you're close enough that if they do kind of, you're right there, right? And this foot has to stay because there's a tendency also that they'll want to start to turn this leg in one direction or the other. All right, so I'm going to shift her a little bit forward. I'll move that leg a little bit back, but keep this guy straight. There we go. So I have it stabilized, and I'm going to palpate where the gracilis is coming down. The gracilis space is like the inner seam of your pants, right? It runs down the medial thigh. Okay, so lift up, and that would be it. Now I'm going to apply resistance. So I'm going to come right over here, right? 3 plus 4 and 5. And then for 2, she's on her back. And this is the one that you have to have the leg already abducted because she's going into adduction. So generally what we do is we try to have the person off towards the edge. Just make sure they're not going to fall off. Right? They're going to be out. And when they go ahead, they bring that leg in. Make sure, look up, they're not doing this movement. Right? Because that'll start to recruit other muscles. So they're already out. And we're going to palpate, right, the gracilis. So I just place my hand here. I can place my other hand over here just to stabilize the pelvis. All right, and go ahead and do the movement. And that would be it. All righty, and rotation now. All righty. So with external rotation, we have a little bolster here. Okay, we'll try that. This. Oh, there's $15 in the pocket. Let's do this one. Okay. All right, so what we're looking for here now, right, that the leg, the patella is lined up with the SIS, right, so they're not so abducted out, and that the femur is pretty much horizontal to the parallel to the floor. Right? So with external rotation, do not get confused. This is external. Don't be looking here. Look what's happening here. So that's external. That means that leg has to be out of the way. Make sure you move it out of the way. I know, Goni, someone didn't do it. You got points off. All right? So just have the person there, and now we can go ahead and do it here. So all I'm going to do is stabilize the thigh, and I'm going to palpate. Oh, she told me the signal. Did you see the signal? You missed it. I'm going to go to TFL then, right? Because the TFL is, oh no, that can't be doing that one then. Oh, I misread the signal. So I have to do, what are we doing? External rotation? So we have to do piriformis. All right, so the piriformis is like where your back pocket is. All right, and you just can't place your hand, there like this. You're never going to feel it. Because you have the glute max, you have the glute medius, and even part of the little minimus is down there. So you have to get in there and kind of press. Put your hand, and you have to press hard, right? So I'm in the back pocket. I'm just holding her leg there, and she's going to go ahead and do that movement. Go ahead, and that's it. Now for resistance, I'm going to come over here, stabilize this. She's going to go this way, and this way. Right. So down here, I see a lot of students were doing it up high. Everybody's going to knock you over because you have a very short lever. So I usually I want to see the arm parallel to the floor. I don't want you to see. I don't want to see like this, doing it like this. All right, so I usually get down on my leg, and I usually put my elbow on my inner thigh, like this. All right, so again, do that movement, and that's it, just like that. Yes, okay. I heard a question coming in.
It says it's to support the posterior lower leg.
The posterior lower leg?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what it says here. Yes, and what does that grade say, Miss Gabriella?
2.
And what grade are we doing? We just did 3 plus 4 and 5. That would be good. She's got to be on her side.
Got
there.
it.
All right? Okay? So that's 3 plus 4 and 5. And you know the 3, okay? So, now we're going to support the posterior lower leg. Okay? All right, so here we go. All right, cozy? All right? All right, so now I'm going to have the 90-90. 90 at the hip. 90. Where do I have my hand, Gabriella?
Posterior lower leg.
Thank you. All right, so now you have to know, remember, don't get confused once again, which is external. This is going to be external. All right, so I'm here. I just place my hand under the piriformis. She's going to go ahead and do the movement, and that would be it. Or the other way, like I said, is if we, what happened?
How did you?
Get to the piriformis.
Yeah, if she's lying.
I put my hand under there.
Oh, I thought it's like your back pocket.
I thought you meant like
Yeah.
that.
I put my hand under
Oh,
there.
so you just like slip it under?
Oh, slip it
Okay.
in.
Myself.
Okay.
I was a magician many years ago. Okay. So now we're going to do, well, the alternative method would be, we're doing external, so her leg will be internally rotated, right? And all I'm going to do is do the exact same thing, turn it out, and that's the same process. Okay? Now, we're going to do internal rotation, so everything is just basically reversed here. Okay? So with internal rotation, it's going to be this movement, right? So I have to palpate. Oop, she gave me the code.
Nice.
Right? So I'm going to place my hand here and here. All right, go ahead, do it. And that's how it's going to palpate, just like this, right? Then for resistance, I'm going to come down here once again, stabilize here, and have it pushed out, right? That would be 3 plus 4 and 5. And then she goes to lie down in the same position as before. Everything is the same, right? I'm going to be here, and she's going to turn inward, and I can place my hand right there on the TFL. Go ahead, and that would be it. Or I could have it do this way. If she's going in, I have to have her turned out, and then I place my hand, I just stabilize it so she doesn't adduct, and that's it.